Hey everyone. All right, it's April 2nd, so I'm going to post this tomorrow evening since I already recorded a video that's going to go out tomorrow morning. If you don't know what I'm doing here, just read the description below, or I've done other videos on Trisha Paytas before. I have a channeled song. So it's going to be linked below. This song, it's the energy, something to do with the energy of this song is connected to you, Trisha. So I'm switching over as if I'm speaking to you, Trisha. I'm going to go back and forth, it feels. I'm not entirely sure. So why I'm doing this video is because I felt a strong energy about you many months ago. I don't know when. It was sometime during the winter time. And there was an energy that was coming in. Long story short, I was told to wait. Wait until you sealed your fate, which you have, which is that you've gotten involved with people. I believe it has to do with this documentary because that's essentially what it looked like to me. It was a man that basically finessed you. He finessed you, and it's him and someone else around him. I think there's a strong feminine energy around him. I don't know if this is an actual female or just someone with feminine qualities. There's a strong feminine control that's surrounding this individual, and they don't have your best interest in mind. And you were blind to this. You weren't able to see this because you were out for blood. And so you were looking for opportunities in someone who on a subconscious level resonated with a familiarity of how you are shut down, empathetically shut down. And they're showing how you have essentially become, since probably at least the last time that I've done reading on you, worsened condition as far as becoming a highway, a vessel for entities, for demonic influences. And I'm seeing the word decay, and it's circling decay, and then I'm seeing gnats kind of crawling around the word. So it feels as if there's a decay occurring. And what you've done is, irregardless of what this individual does with the information that they've collected about you, it energetically aligned you to sealing your fate. It has already energetically shifted everything the way it's supposed to be for you in this range of your free will. So they're saying it's sealed off your potential to be with a partner from your past. It sealed off other potentials that were more light in kind of just the way, and I'm being interrupted, and there's an energy coming through. It's a grandmother energy, and they're pointing me to Callie's video that I did. There's some sort of elderly woman and man that came through in her reading. They're reminding me, they're saying that woman and man are coming through again, and they're telling you, they're not telling you as Trisha, it's the demonic influences that are influencing and driving your chariot and saying to leave Callie alone. They're saying to leave her alone. They're very protective over her, and they're saying leave her alone. And I'm seeing the male energy that's coming through for you, that has come through in your readings before, who feels very disheartened, sad, but loving towards you. It's a loving energy. It's not disappointment necessarily, but it's kind of that same feeling where it's like, I love you, however, I have no control over this particular thing. I don't have control over the way that you process this. I don't have control over the way that this makes you feel, or how, like, I can't control your destiny. I can't be the one taking control of your life. I can't live your journey for you, and I can only be there to support you. So it's that feeling. And so there's something that you're trying to blame Callie for. You're trying to manipulate or twist some sort of narrative, whether this is directly to Callie or around Callie. There's something surrounding her that you are being directly communicated with energetically to leave her alone. You need to leave her alone. You need to leave her out of it. You need to not try to bother her or harm her. It's like you're trying to manipulate a situation. You're like, oh, I don't mean to do, that's not what I, but you know what you're doing. And they're saying you need to don't do that. Like, straight up, don't do that. They're showing me you and Moses, and they're showing Moses in like a white picket fence, and they're taking me back. They're taking me back, and they're saying how this was verified. This was verified in the past. It was verified in the past when I felt your energy months ago. It was verified by another individual. They're saying it was verified by another individual. The white picket fence surrounding Moses, and he's like a claw, like the machines, those toy machines, and he's picking you up. He's picking you up. They're saying this happened months ago, maybe like November, December, January, so maybe mostly November or something. But he's picking, I don't know, somewhere in the colder months, picking you up and taking you out. It's like you were drowning, you were in a dire situation, and he came out and picked you up. He helped you in a very compromising position. It was like your last ditch, and like you had no way out. You had no options, and he helped you get out of this situation. And then I'm hearing normal. It's circling and circling because you're both appearing to be normal. What's normal? And they're saying, look at the definition. They said, look up the definition. Okay, I'll look up the definition of normal. Okay, because they're saying that's very important, is to look at the actual definition. Conforming with, adhering to, or constituting a norm, standard, pattern, level, or type. Typical. Functioning or occurring in a natural way, lacking observable abnormalities or deficiencies, relating to or designating the normality of a solution. So you're trying to appear as if everything's normal. You're trying to appear as if that's normal. You're lying. You're hiding. Farce. I heard farce, and then I see both of you, and he's using you, but you know this, manipulating you because you are the object, and it's like he's controlling you. He's controlling you. And it's this feeling here, I'm getting laughing, like kind of snickering, like, like you are predictable. You are predictable. So he can control you because he can easily predict you. Even in your outbursts, he can predict you. Therefore, he can control and manipulate you because there's a deep desire. There's a deep, there's like, you want things to appear normal. That's your narrative that you're trying to cultivate. And then they're bringing me, and they're saying, what are the two things that they show me this image of Jesus, and it's probably like a picture somewhere, but it's like Jesus as with like sheep around him, and then random people around him. But then they're saying, what's the similarities, or what's the differences between, they're saying, what's the differences between sinners and the kings. And then when I heard sinners, then it's making me have a sinking feeling, because when you think sinners, you think like, I guess, degenerates or something, like people of lower society, and that's who he befriended were people of lower society. He loved them equally as he did the kings. He loved everyone. And so they're saying that there is no difference. What the difference is perception and control over society, but the similarities is the poverty. So the differences is the poverty in which it was represented, but the internal poverty, the spiritual poverty existed in sinners whom never repented, and the kings who, in essence, Jesus completely dismantled and destroyed their political organizations, including the other pastors or whatever they're called, the popes, or the religious leaders, simply by his actions. And they're pointing this out because there's a depravity. You're a depraved, demented person spiritually. And then they're pointing out and they're saying, look at you. They're pointing out in your past, how you would be with your friends and you would make fun of people behind the scenes, and then you would get on camera and you would make fun of them. You wouldn't explicitly say that you're making fun of them. You wouldn't even point out who you were. They're saying you were watching them or you were doing something, and you would get on camera and you would continue that, and it's a bullying behavior, and you would do this with them. And they're saying, do you see how that energy has been played out on you now? Not by other people within just the public. They're saying that this organization or this person, these people that came in, like this documentarian or whomever it is, came in and is feeling the same way about you. So you are being blindsided and confused in some ways, but you can feel it. Is like, are they making fun of me? Do they respect me? Do they hate me? They're saying it's that same thing. They're making fun of you behind your back and you're not realizing it. The only difference here that I'm seeing is that they're saying that these people that you would make fun of it's like your darkness sought them out. It's like dark people seek out light people to corrupt them, but then at the same time, dark people also attract dark people. And so there's a difference there, but they're pointing this out. And then they're saying how your fate they're bringing me back to your fate being sealed. And they're saying how they're saying it's a mathematical equation. That's how it's that's how it operates on these lower levels. As far as like it's like we have the wholeness of the soul, and then we have different life experiences or perceptions of experience. So this is just a limited perception of our reality. But the way that it operates is on a chemical equation. It's on a mathematical, but it's also, I guess it's related chemically on an equation. So you can only adjust according to this certain equation. And so you have the broader range of this possibility, and then you have already sealed the deal with this particular, you've put the inputs into this equation that limited it to this reality over here, which is of the lower frequencies of which you are capable of having. You sealed that. Bam. But they're saying there's a positive twist to the way that you could perceive this, because they're saying just as that's occurring, that is a relief to a lot of people that are going to watch this video, and including you, if you will actually open up to see it this way, is what's meant for you will happen. It's like when you put in when you have to put your effort in as well. It's not everything. There are some things that are going to happen, fated, destiny, whatever. But it's like, what happens for you when you put in your effort and you believe in yourself, like it could potentially be, is kind of what they're saying. It's like, it's like this, like for those of you who have something beautiful happen to you, and there's that sense of, maybe I don't deserve this. It's like, actually you do. This is confirmation that you deserve the good things that happen in your life. And that's not to say that the negative things you deserve as well. Like you can, there's an honest way of looking at it. And that's kind of a more broad, that's speaking broadly, since we're talking about Trisha. And so that, in essence, that's the side note that they're saying, is like, it could, like, those things that you dream of and desire and work for could potentially be yours. It could be written in the chart, written in the stars for you. You have to take the initiative or the courage to reach for them, and there's a strong possibility you might get that. And not only that, but they're pointing out how life can work. In essence, it is working in your favor, but it can be perceived that way, because this is forcing you, Trisha, to see that when things don't work, it's not, you cannot hang on to it forever. What was happening in your life was not working. When you were at your peak status as a celebrity, it was not working. You were not emotionally or spiritually fulfilled. And now you're at the bottom, and you're going even further, and it's still not sustaining you. So you cannot sustain something that is not meant for you. So it's getting ripped away from you because you're not strong enough to hold on to something that's not meant for you. You have to be able to shift your perception and see. And they're saying it doesn't matter whether you shift your perception or not. That's kind of your own doing. But it's going to happen irregardless. So again, how do you want to handle this? Because it's going to happen for a progressively long time, lifetimes. And then they're bringing me back to the reading I did on Aleister Crowley, where he essentially showed me that hell is real, in essence, where you will pay for the misgivings, the misdeeds that you've placed upon people knowingly and unknowingly, until generationally they can heal those traumas. So the traumas that you've placed upon other people, purposefully or not, will reverberate and will have to heal itself so that you can essentially rise again spiritually. And so that's one of the main focuses of forgiveness that people should work towards, because that liberates the perpetrator, and it liberates yourself, because that levels out the karma for them. Is saying, well, I sincerely forgive you, or I sincerely repent, and therefore it stops right there, and you don't repeat that trauma generation, or you don't go out and traumatize someone else because of whatever, right? And they're showing me how, they're showing me death, like dead people, and they're saying how with dead people, it's like that's the only time that in this situation, this is what they're saying. In this situation, they're saying that, because I don't want anyone who's watching to think this is like a general thing, general advice, but they're saying this specifically with her. If it feels like it could resonate with you, or this is something that, then by all means, trust yourself with this. But if you are truly sorry for something, the only time that you could say, well, it's up to God, you know, if they forgive me or not, like that's a cop-out, is if they're dead. Like if you were actually really, 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 really sorry, you would want to make amends. You would want to make things right. You would want to reach out. You would want to do that. Not in a way that is poking and prodding them. It's by saying, listen, I'm sincerely sorry for this and this and this and this and this. And this is what I plan to do to make things better in my life. And there's this feeling that I get of a rebuttal of saying, I did that, I did that, I did that. And they're saying, no, you did not. No, you did not. There is something that you are lying to yourself about, and it doesn't only harm you, but it affects you in a major way, karmically. And then I heard, where do you want to be in 5 years and 10 years and 15 years? And then they said, you're not going to get there. Whatever your answer is, you're not going to get there. What you get is what is supposed to happen for you, is what they're saying. Like it's like they're showing me someone who gets fired. This is example is someone who gets fired from their job. And it's like this person was miserable at their job. And they had health problems with their job. And then they interrupted, they stopped it, and they said, use an example of a diabetic. And they're showing me someone who is obese, and then they have diabetes, and then they drop a lot of weight. And I don't believe this is exactly why the body does this, of how diabetes works, but this is how they're showing me, is that the body is trying to extract all of this excess weight, because all of that weight is not helping the body function properly. So it's eliminating all of that. It doesn't work for the body anymore. And so they're showing me that as an example of what's happening on a karmic scale for you, of you cannot hang on to the things that don't serve you anymore. No matter how much you try and get it to work, it's not going to work. Like your time with that is no more. It's up. It's not functioning. It's not functioning for you. Well, once again, it feels like this is a message that is mostly for other people, because this isn't something that you are going to take any initiative with. So it's just a warning for other people around you of what's really happening, potentially, and also as a kind of a ray of hope for other people, that, you know, even if you are in some situation where you feel like you're doing the right thing, you're making amends, you're a kind person, all this, it's going to pay off for you. It will happen for you. Good things will happen. You will be able to reach those dreams if it's meant for you. If you have that desire in you, try it. Basically what I'm seeing here is you're just going to remain purposefully blind. You're just going to, nothing changes if nothing changes. like in your reality, but the external reality will drastically change here. Because you're refusing to see. You're refusing to see. You're refusing to acknowledge, and it feels like you're also refusing to open your heart. And they're saying, okay, so what's happening here is whatever's going to happen, whether this stuff's going to get released or not, is people are going to feel sorry for you. There's going to be a core group of people who feel sorry for you, but not in the way that you think. It's not going to be in the way that's some sort of profit for you. They're going to feel sorry for you, but not, it doesn't feel like it's in a good way. Like it's like they still don't respect you. It's kind of like two wrongs don't make a right, or like you can still feel bad for someone that you don't like, right? Like you could still recognize those things, injustices, or you can recognize when things don't pan out, like sucks, but what are you gonna do kind of thing. It's that kind of feeling. There's like something's gonna happen, and then people are gonna say, well, it's almost like you deserve it. It's like, well, what do you expect? It's something like that. And it's gonna just blow up in everyone's faces, like yours and then those people's faces. It's gonna just sink everything down. The ship's gonna sink, essentially, for both of you. And it's actually that when I talked about before, you have this smaller core group of people, what it's actually doing is shrinking it. It's shrinking it. So more people are dispersing. So now the group of supporters is even smaller, and they're not really supporters. It's just a community is what it feels. It doesn't really feel like you have people who support you, like sincerely. Even if they said they did, it's not sincere. It's conditional in some way. It's conditional. And this makes people feel very bad for you. It's like that. It's like you can't help but feel bad for that. Like that's such an isolating and lonely feeling. That's a horrible feeling. But I mean, considering the circumstances, and I'm seeing even like, it's bringing me, you like the John Benet Ramsey situation, your little art piece. It's like, well, I mean, yeah. And I'm just getting like, everything's just getting shut down, shut out. Love, happiness, romance, everything's just getting, because it's not working. It's not working because it's not real. It's not sincere. So your heart has to break. Your heart has to break apart in order to open, in order for it to reveal itself. And they're saying that when this occurs, your heart's gonna rip open and you're gonna do something impulsive. They're actually warning you currently, no, don't be impulsive. This is gonna happen later. So whether you're impulsive now or later, doesn't matter. Like if you just do one or the other, you're gonna have this impulsive like breakout, and you're gonna say something that you're not gonna mean to say. I don't even think you're not gonna catch it. It's as if your guardian angels blind you in that moment and you just say it. And this might have already happened actually, and it's not coming out till later. Maybe that, but it's like you don't even know what you said. You're just blind. And it's in that moment of vulnerability that there's a window into understanding you. And they're just showing me, they're showing me like an example of a killer, right? And like you hear killer stories and it's like, oh, well, you know, I was beat as a kid or something, and then it's like, oh man, that's terrible. Like now I understand why they went down this path or whatever. It's like, it just gives the answer to it, but it doesn't make it okay. So that's kind of what I'm getting here. So it doesn't actually benefit you, it just explains things to people. And I just heard the word toenail. I don't know why. Toenail. So maybe you need to look at someone's trim someone's toenail. I have no idea. Yeah, I don't know. There's your happiness has evaded you. So I'm saying is happiness keeps coming through, right? But then it's always anchored by it's anchored by darkness. And this is what I'm seeing is with this, like all that glitters is essentially what we're saying, where it was not working. When you had it all, it never worked for you because you were never actually happy. And it's still not working for you as you're losing it all. You're still not happy. It needs to go. The things that you had and the things that you are losing need to go in order for you to have no other choice but to make the most of what you have. Like, it's like you're either gonna be miserable for the rest of your life or you're gonna start appreciating it. Do you get what I'm saying, guys? I think there's a lot of people out here who have experienced that before, where it's like you don't realize what you had until it's gone, and then you learn through the process of regaining it again, if you are so lucky to do so, or not even desiring what you had before, and it gives you a deeper appreciation for that. That's what I'm seeing here, except you're not going to gain it back. You're not ever going to have that again. Never. Not even in like the next coming lifetimes. It's going to be, it's actually what I see for you in future lifetimes is poverty. But flipped, you're going to have emotional richness, but physical poverty. That's what I see. And it's actually a very beautiful thing. The most happy people come from places that have love and family, and appreciation for nature, and all of that as their core life. But it's gonna take you a while. Yeah. You can't avoid fate. You can't avoid fate, and you sealed the deal on the range of which was available to you in this life. It has been stamped, and here it is. Here it comes. So that's what I see. And I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Bye.